Have you got a project car begging for your attention?
Hey, my name's James, and I have a problem.
For nearly 20 years, I've dedicated my life to cars. As a mechanic, I enjoy the challenge of finding and fixing the problem, and more so the satisfaction that comes from seeing the look on the customer's face when you fix their problem. But when you work all day, fixing cars, dealing with customers, and running a business, all you want to do when you get home is sit on the couch. And your own project gets pushed aside. And somewhere along the way, you lose that passion. But recently, something changed. As many of you might know, I recently did a video based on the history of the Toyota Supra, and many of you commented telling me about your own experiences and your own stories with the Supra. But truly humbling was many of you told me my video made you get out and work on your own car. This got me thinking about my own unfinished project and where it should be. You might have watched that video and thought I was living the dream, but underneath this cover is the car I've dreamed of since I was 10 years old, and it is far from finished. The reality is, we all lead busy lives, and sometimes, for one reason or the other, we have to put our passions on hold. For me, it was building a business, spending time with family, and money. I am terrible at putting myself first. I mean, even a regular haircut was not a priority. Look at this guy. When I finally pulled the trigger and bought my dream car, it was one of the worst examples money could buy. But that didn't matter to me. I had big dreams of what it could become. I drove this car once before pulling the engine out, dismantling the car, and sending it off for paint. I wasted no time. The car got painted, I rebuilt the engine, and then it just sat here, gathering dust. A lot has happened between now and then, but that's a story for another day. So I've decided to find my passion and finish what I started, because I can't begin to tell you what it had been to me to be able to drive this car again. So without any further ado, here is my Toyota Supra. Let's try with the other hand. Let's work on that. Since my magic isn't up to scratch, I thought I'd just give it a wash and show it to you in 3, 2, 1. Okay, stop right there. I don't think I should be celebrating just yet. I might have got a bit carried away. Now you might be looking at this car and thinking, James, what are you talking about? This car's nearly finished. Well, this is the part of the video where I show you how much this thing actually needs. And brace yourself, it's not good. Let's look inside. Now, as you can see, my car has no door check straps. As you can see, she's a target top. Now, originally I planned to buy a hard top, but I had a good opportunity and I got it at a good price. Now I can go down the freeway with the wind in my hair, or at least what's left of it, and enjoy this sucker. Let me show you around. I'm just gonna quickly take this roof off. Tools around here somewhere. Probably should have been more organized. Glass cleaner. Grab handle. Battery bolt, I think. I had no idea what I was gonna find. Remote control for a head unit I don't have anymore. I think it's in my pile of stuff. Yeah. All right. I've never opened it. Let's do this. Oh, this is way easier than an Allen key. 1, 2, 3, 4. Everyone with the target top needs one of these. Such a good time saver. Let's get on with it. I just wanted to show you a few things. So I've replaced all these seals around here, on the outside of the doors. Actually, I haven't done this one yet. Oh, that looks a bit terrible. I'm a little embarrassed to say, but I did a lot of this through when prices were like astronomical. In retrospect, that was a silly idea. Let me show you what I mean. My target top. This bit and the seal
that goes on there. This cost me 1,200 Australian dollars. The Series 1 glass headlights, nearly 2.5 grand.
These armrests, $295 each.
This front bar, nearly 2 grand.
Yeah, I know what you're going to say. I got ripped. And you're right, but it wasn't all bad. Lucky for me, my panel beater, who is the man, looked at this front bar and said,
No, man, I can fix that. Of course you can.
Here we are. As you can see, all the door panels are a bit rough.
they have some random marks and scratches. And along the bottom here, it's a common thing where the vinyl starts to come away from the backing board. They say many hands make light work, but many feet make many scratches on Supra door cards.
Oh, that's not going in.
And this, look at that. Ugh, that is nasty. I bought new door handles for it and put them straight on the old trims. I don't know why I did that. Panels are rough. There was nothing.
Look at this. I have no idea how it could get this bad. I don't want to offend the guy if he's watching this video, but who lets this happen? And especially to such a cool car. Everything is scratched. What the hell? This is about the only trim that's not scratched. Oh, you're joking. I am just a real sucker for the fixer-uppers.
You can see I've got new carpet here. I've cut this out and sat it on top of the old molded carpet. But these carpets, unfortunately, you can't just buy a carpet and put it in because, as you can see, they've got this foam here. And all through the car, it has that foam. And that foam sits nicely into the creases of the body.
And look, usually that wouldn't be a problem. But this carpet, it's...
Got my trusty stick.
You wouldn't believe it, but I've had this professionally steam cleaned.
Perfect. All right, let me show you this carpet. It's, let me just show you. Oh, look at that. That is putrid.
I'm gonna need to come up with a solution for this. I don't know if any of you guys have encountered this problem before, but let me know what you think in the comments.
You can see I've had the rear seat reupholstered in genuine pleather. Looks really good. Guys up the road from me did that one. Put a new handbrake in.
I've got a few ideas for the transmission in this, but I'll tell you about it soon.
Nasty. Oof. Another common thing with these Supras is the boot strut's not working. Now mine worked just fine because I had them regassed.
It was a bit difficult to regas this particular set as the machine wouldn't get over the bracket. So I had to chop the bracket off and then cut a thread to reattach the bracket later. Bit more tricky, but we got a good result. The boot is pretty empty, and what I do have for the boot is either broken or missing. Oh, and what's left of a 2000 style stereo setup. Yeah, so the boot's going to need a few things, and these wheels, they're going in the rubbish.
No offense, Speedy Wheels, but oof.
Okay, let's get on to the best bit.
And here is my motor. As you can see, it's pretty naked. It's essentially just a long block with an intake on it and a few other basic things. Mostly just factory bearings, factory steel head gasket, no aftermarket cams, factory valves. Maybe that'll change, I'm not sure. But originally my intention was to put the original twin turbo setup back on it and just have it running how it was from factory, but we can't just do that.
More power, baby! All right, more power, gee.
The loom that goes around the entire engine bay, I pulled that out, cleaned, replaced wires, and put it all back together.
And you wonder why things take you so long.
New fuse box, not that expensive. I think it was like $150, I want to say. I thought I had to have it because it's right in your face. The washer bottle, it's a brand new neck, but the washer bottle's original. As I was saying before, these headlights, the glass ones, oh, they were a pretty penny.
But boy, they look good.
It's pretty naked around here. It's missing a lot of stuff. The master is the original master that's been rebuilt. This reservoir is the original reservoir. I just cleaned it out like 10 times with like degreaser, boiling water. Brake lines are a little bit worse for wear. They're missing the clips there.
And we're gonna need a heater core. Great.
It's also missing the firewall blanket, which I don't think I'm gonna put back on.
I know I need some sort of heat shield, but look at it. It looks really, really good. Come on, tell me I'm wrong.
I'm not fully decided on whether I do a big single or two twins.
Let me know what you think in the comments.
We're gonna get rid of this cable because we're gonna do fly-by-wire technology.
That's one thing I've always wanted to do. Take an old car and put a whole bunch of new technology in it. Nearly like making a modern day Mark IV. That'd be cool.
Maybe we'll get another car and do that. Let's get this shit on the road. Brakes are a little bit seized up, maybe. She's hard to push for a car that doesn't weigh that much. It's been a really long time since I've just sort of hung out and worked on my car by myself, or worked on any car by myself for that matter. I'm gonna put chocks of wood on the pads because they don't roll up tall enough on this hoist. So a bit time consuming. Let's go. Now, before you put a car on the hoist and bring it all the way up, you should always check.
Yeah, boy.
All right, let's go up. Oh, zip's undoing itself.
This is where you begin to see just how much stuff I need to finish this car.
Let me show you underneath the car.
And of course, I forgot to get a light.
How's it go?
A few moments later.
All right, I've got my trusty light. Now, as you can see,
Take a breath.
there's the engine again.
Good one, James. I'm sure the viewer needed us to point that out.
And K-frame needs a bit of work. I'll probably pull that out at some stage, but again, I just want to get it running. Yeah, so things look a bit rough under here. I do intend on changing all the bushing, getting new link rods, replacing a lot of this stuff. Gonna need a sway bar, front and back. We'll get some nice big ones. I did try and clean the cross member as well as possible using like wheel cleaners. They come up pretty good. This power steering rack, it's been recode. I put TN coilovers in. So as you can see, there's like nothing here, and I've got to work out everything that goes here. It's been a very long time since I've pulled this apart. Everything that goes behind here, like condenser, radiator. I'm actually just going to start adding that up because the amount of stuff I need for this car is just huge.
That'd be one way of putting it, but I won't spoil it.
Same as over here. It's all missing. I haven't got any of it. Then we come here, and as you notice, there is no gearbox. Now, I'm not fully decided on what I want to do. This, as you would have seen, is a auto. For the longest time, I've wanted to go manual. I thought about doing the V160, but they're really expensive for the genuine Get Rad box. I thought about putting the Nissan box in here, that's out of the 350s, the 6-speed. But a conversion I know of that people have done more recently is putting the 8-speed box out of a Lexus. And they are a big box. They just fit in the tunnel.
I believe that box is referred to as an AA80E, which is commonly used in the RCF. Although this box is probably going to be very expensive, this conversion I think would be definitely worth it. With 8 gears, it'd be geared really good for takeoff. It'd cruise nicely on the freeway, probably be somewhat economical, and your top end speed would nearly be guaranteed to be over 300 kilometers per hour. So yeah, it's an option.
And you know, it's a Lexus, so it'll be reliable. Once we work out what transmission we're going to use, then we have to get a tail shaft, which I don't have. And then we've got to do something about this diff. This diff is a single pegger. I thought about getting a LS center. I haven't done a lot of research into it. Definitely something I'm going to have to do. I don't want to be single pegging it everywhere. That's just embarrassing and dangerous in these cars.
I don't know if you've ever driven a Supra with even 500 horsepower. If you've got all the power going to one wheel, it is really unpredictable.
We pulled the tank out, cleaned the tank, put a bigger Walbro fuel pump in, and then painted this shield. You know, it's not too bad. Like the front, I do want to replace all the bushings throughout the whole thing. You know, I'm doing everything else.
This car has truly come a long way. I wish I could have shown you pictures from when I bought it.
Who the did that?
This thing when I bought it had a really dodgy aftermarket exhaust.
Someone's done a shocking job on this.
Which brings me on to my last point. This car is going to need a lot of stuff, like too much stuff.
Even if you think about what's here, radiator, condenser, receiver dryer, aircon lines. I don't even have those. Transmission lines, not that we're going to run a stock transmission. Everything that's missing from here, everything else I haven't mentioned here, there, a manual gearbox and like everything to convert it to manual. When you're talking about even just the gearbox, we've got to buy a gearbox, a clutch, a tail shaft, a pedal box, a master slave, a cylinder slave, the lines, you know, just everything.
And we haven't even considered all the bits in the interior that are either broken, scratched, or just missing. As you can probably imagine, all this stuff adds up. These parts, with just some quick math, came to over $20,000.
I really just think that I need to buy another car. I think we need to go shopping for a Supra.